we'll show the art, man. That's who I want to shout out. I want to shout out Show the Art.
Oh, this sounds...
Yeah. There's no more in there.
Yeah, this sounds way better.
Okay, yeah.
I guess
we switched from an old piece of shit Samsung phone to an iPhone, basically.
Oh, man. See, man, you can't use Samsung, bro. It's iPhone's time. It's Apple's time now.
That's it.
Yeah, man.
That's funny, man. How you guys doing, though, man?
Good, man. Our levels good to go?
Yeah.
Are we recording? Are we on, brother?
No, we're good. Yeah, we're good.
We're good.
Everything looks good.
What is going on, people? You're listening to the Show the Art podcast. We got our man Big C in the building. Chris, how you doing, man?
Sir. I'm great, man. I'm great. Thank you guys for having me again, man.
Absolutely, man. Cristian was on our podcast. Cristian Plascencia, did I pronounce that right?
Plascencia, but that was definitely close enough.
Okay, I tried really hard. We did a podcast with him, and at the end, I found out he was the biggest
Pisces?
Kobe fan.
Oh,
so I said, you know what? We just became best friends, and we got to get you on to talk about absolutely anything and everything.
Anything and everything. I love that, man. Yes, sir. I'm huge Kobe fan.
Chris, also, if we can help Ames with his basketball skills via phone, because he needs all the help he can get.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Okay. All right, I got you.
Awesome, man. Yo, Chris, before we start, can you give us a quick background of what you do and just a quick background of who you are?
Yeah, definitely. So currently, I'm stationed out here in Austin, Texas, working for the ONNIT Academy as one of the coaches here.
Oh.
I work with just general population clients throughout the day. I'm lucky enough to also get my hands on some athletes as well that kind of walk through here and kind of just really specialize working with like movement and more mobility and fundamental movement patterns and just making sure that everybody's body's working as appropriately as it should be, so that when you get under a bunch of load, or when whatever athlete in whatever field he does goes and plays in his game, he's able to perform without any pain or any imbalances or anything like that.
Absolutely. I was gonna ask you too. I was typing it out to ask you, why is it important, but you explained it. So on a typical day, who do you spend most of the time with? Is it more like the general population, or the athletes, Gen Pop, or college?
For the most part, it's general population clientele now, and it's probably been like that for the last 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
I've also been lucky enough, I get some high school athletes in there as well. Some high school basketball kids. I have, like 2 middle school kids that I kind of train as well, doing some basketball skill work. But at the same time, we still do, we get in the gym at least one time, a week, and kind of work on, like I said, their little imbalances, what's not firing off for them.
Yeah.
For the most part, though, if we're thinking like, some like collegiate athletes, maybe getting ready to go into the draft, the ONNIT, so basically it's DeFranco's gym at the ONNIT Academy in Austin, Texas.
Nice.
DeFranco's pulls in, their whole combine program, so the collegiate athletes getting ready for the NFL, and during that time, so that's normally like January, February, March, April type of the year.
Okay.
That's when we'll have them like there all day.
Damn.
So for the most part, maybe about I would say maybe 5 to 6 times a week I'm working with them in that capacity. Yeah, but that's cool. I mean, that's like, it doesn't even seem like work, whenever that happens. And same can be said for the general population. I mean, it's what you make of it. But yeah, for the most part, it's general pop for right now.
Okay. So with the general population, are there common things that you see, like training, or common problems or deficiencies that you usually like to attack or address?
Yeah, definitely. It's funny. I think last time we spoke, we kept talking about the glutes and and everything back there. But it's kind of funny. I mean, for the most part, people's posterior chain seems to be super deficient. Whether that be, like I said, hamstrings are too tight. Glutes can't fire off or don't know how to. Their people's shoulder blades or scapulas, don't know how to engage. Independently. So that's really the biggest thing. I guess if you wanted to even take it like way more general, it's being able to. A lot of people aren't able to disassociate, different parts of their spines independently. So, we kind of have like, the three parts of our spine: the cervical, which is more of like our head and our neck, the thoracic, which is basically our trunk, like our chest and shoulders, and then like our lumbar, which is basically like our pelvis, like our hips. And people, it's funny, man, I put them through like just simple little movement patterns, and you can definitely see like, wow, like, I'm able to do it now, and I've been doing it maybe for like a year, and that's something that I got to kind of tell people. It's like, dude, it's not just you wake up one day, you try it once, and then you get it. I mean, it's a daily process for a lot of people.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely.
So true.
It's like being the like we talked about another podcast, being the master of the mundane, like doing those small things to get better, things that like no one wants to do. So that's something that really stuck with me from a weightlifting coach that said it. So
who said that?
Yeah, definitely, man.
Travis Mash.
Okay.
Yeah. So look him up, strong guy
from the show,
awesome
Mash.
We're gonna pass that on. Yo, so it was pretty. How crazy was it? Oh, you're in Texas, right?
Yes, sir.
How crazy was it during this weekend? Because there's two big wins. Two big wins for Texas, with the University of Houston and Texas. Were you around there?
Yeah, so I actually went into Northern California this weekend to go visit my family.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, and I thought about that too as I booked my ticket. I have a friend who works for Virgin America.
Yeah.
So I get like $40 flights.
Damn.
So I was like, you know what? I got
clutch.
Monday off. Like, I haven't seen my family in a while. Maybe let me just go check it out. But as I was flying out, I was like, you know what, man? My buddy also talked about, going to the tailgate because, Austin, we don't have a sports team here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We have like the D League Spurs, but obviously that's not, as big as anything else. So basically UT football, UT basketball, UT baseball is like Austin.
Oh, wow.
So like downtown and that whole area, it's like, especially on game days, it's packed.
Damn.
So, but yeah, it was a buddy who went to the game and then basically just like rioted downtown after. And obviously it wasn't that much madness, lighting up the, cars on fire and anything like that. But yeah, they stayed up late.
So you basically missed out like a good ass party over the weekend.
Exactly. And Austin out here, they know how to have a good time. So.
Yeah, that's dope. I can only imagine like the barbecue food over there, man. That's one reason I just want to go to Texas, just for that.
Yeah, man. The barbecue's awesome. Like the brisket, amazing.
Ooh.
Me being from California, tri-tip has always been like a big thing for me.
Yeah.
But tri-tip is not. Yeah, it's lost out here. There's no tri-tip out here.
I
brisket
see.
takes the crown.
Brisket's the thing over there.
Yeah, brisket's the thing over here, man. But it's funny because even other than barbecue food, man, there's plenty of these small restaurants just throughout downtown that are so tasty, man. It's awesome. So much cuisine out here.
I feel like that's been like blowing up lately, like little restaurants. Actually, I just saw an article online. I don't know if it's true or not, but they were saying that this is the first year that Americans have spent more money dining out.
I saw that.
Than buying groceries.
Really?
Yeah. On average.
Yeah. I read that. Or there was like a video. I think it was like about obesity. One of the reasons why America is obese as hell.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
And
they're eating that way too much. That's funny.
Yeah, man.
I mean, fine cuisine is good, but it's a lot of money and it doesn't help your health. That's for sure.
Man. You don't know you don't know what they're putting inside.
Yeah.
Those
just all the salt. Just all the salt.
Yeah, man.
That's
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And there's something. Go ahead, my bad.
Go ahead.
Yeah, there's something about like making breakfast or lunch or dinner and enjoying it. Like I said this morning, I made some coffee and toast with avocado and egg. I'm like, man, I'm just enjoy. I was just quietly just eating. I'm like, man, today's gonna be a good day. Felt good.
Yeah, amen, man. Yeah, there's always a certain type of satisfaction you get when you can, make up your own breakfast, make your own, dinner and lunch, and eat it up. And you're like, you know what, that was awesome. I just made all that right there.
Yeah, man. So, what does your diet consist of, or what do you usually eat on a regular basis? Not you. I'm looking at you.
You're looking at me.
I'm talking to Chris. You too. You want to answer that, Abe?
No, Chris.
Oh,
go
you're
right
good.
ahead.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right, Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. So it's funny you ask, because like the last like 4 or 5 months, I've kind of put myself on this. I'm not even going to call it a new diet. I'm just going to kind of say, become a more aware of like really what I'm putting in my body.
Okay.
And that's really consistent of me kind of eating out less. That's funny. We kind of just talked about that.
Yeah,
true.
So yeah, I've been going to the grocery store a little bit more, but like normally my breakfast will be anywhere from like 3 to 4 eggs.
Okay.
I'll always kind of try to throw in some type of like either half or a quarter of avocado. It's weird. Some days I don't know why I do this, but like maybe 2 or 3 days a week, I'll try to like my first. Who knows? Like maybe like first meal, maybe even first 2 meals.
Yeah.
I'll try to go like quote unquote vegan. You know what I mean? And it's kind of a touchy subject because like eggs, I don't know if those necessarily vegan or not, but
so
I try to stay
to
away from like turkey, meats, and like, just all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And the only reason I do that is because I realize like my body just has way more energy.
Yeah.
So, I'm throwing in kale, I'm throwing in spinach. After that, I'm really big about making like 2 or 3 shakes a day. And the shakes will consist of, like if I want to go vegan, I'm going to put, our vanilla hemp force or our chocolate hemp force that we make from ONNIT, which is our protein
it's
powder.
Pretty clutch. I forgot you work for them.
Yeah.
That's clutch.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm so blessed to work with them. I don't, you know what I mean? It's a pretty penny for that stuff too, because it's great quality.
I know. Yeah. Send us over. Some,
I'm actually waiting for
right?
hemp force to come in today.
Are you?
Yeah. Tracking said it would be coming in today.
It's like waiting for Christmas.
Yeah. It's like waiting. I mean, it's expensive.
Yeah, it is.
It's
Unless a friend of ours from Texas wants to hook it up, then it won't be as expensive.
Yeah, man. Hey, definitely. We can connect on a text message about that. We can definitely figure something out.
My
I got you guys. We can do that.
Now, I don't want to change subjects, but I love the titling you put for your programs on the ONNIT Academy On Demand website.
Oh, yeah.
Disassociate to associate. Hips don't lie.
That's my favorite one.
Hold on. Discover activation through preparation. Prepping for war program. God damn. Who came up with this shit?
It's so funny you say that, man. And what's funny? In the beginning, like my first 2 titles, so the director of like continuing education and basically the guy who's, at the head, overseeing all of, the trainers that are basically have an online channel through the ONNIT Academy and through ONNIT On Demand. Yeah. His name is Shane Hines.
Okay.
Awesome man. He's also the master coach for the Steel Clubs.
Okay.
He's like been one of my like biggest mentors out here, especially for my online channel. And
nice.
I think like my first title, it was like something really weird. I can't even remember what the heck it was. And he kind of like sat me down. He's not the type to be like, no, that's horrible, go change it. He's the type to be like, you know what, that's great, but we could do this a little bit better. You know what I mean? So
praise.
Exactly. And I like that. I think it works 100%.
I agree.
But yeah, I have to give him some credit. I mean, I'm not going to say that, he straight up put the title on there for me, because it was my page and he wants me to take like ownership of it. But yeah, after like the first or second week, like the hips don't lie was for sure. Like it kind of just came to me. Like, I don't know why. I just was driving around one day and I was like, you know what? Like, I got no shame calling the hips don't lie.
That's it.
Like,
you probably listen to Shakira on the radio.
Exactly. Get some of the Hispanic in there.
Now, the second one on here, is this an error or is this a real word? Intro to mobility? It says V.
Oh, yeah. That's real right there. So,
okay.
I'm really big about, so I don't know why, but I'm black and white type of guy, right? Okay. I need like clear cut, like, what am I doing? Like, what is the title? Like, in terms of, if I get in the gym today, okay, am I going to do like a strength workout? Am I going to do, a quote unquote endurance workout, an oxidative workout, whatever? Like, my mind kind of works like that sometimes, and I try to get away from that. But to me, I was like, all right, well, what am I doing here? Like, what do I do in this program? It's like, all right, well, at the end of the day, it's very general. It's movement, and at the end of the day too, it's like, well, it's movement kind of concentrated to, opening up mobility. So, not just, getting more range of motion, but gaining strength through that range of motion.
I see.
So I was like, you know what? Let's just like try to piece those 2 words together. And I remember when I first told Shane that, he kind of looked at me. I was like, and then I came back the next day and he goes, you know what? think that's gonna work. He goes, I think I like that. Like,
you let
right,
it
cool.
simmer for a bit with him, eh? You let it sit.
Yeah, we got to marinate.
That's true. That's dope, man. Yeah, I peeped some of the your videos on Instagram, and one thing I've incorporated is that it's like you're in like a deep squat, or not a deep squat, where you laterally shuffle from like on your hands into your feet. You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, exactly. I know it's the
was he on a bed when he was showing you this video?
Yeah.
No, we're Skyping.
We're
Skyping in the bathroom.
Yeah.
What the?
Yeah, don't worry about us, man. Just keep looking at other titles.
That's right. And the carryover though to the bedroom, I'm not gonna say, it's gonna work. I'm just gonna say, from experience, it might help you out a little bit.
It might help. A little accessory work.
Might help a little
there
bit.
you go. See, we're trying to help you out, Abe. Trying to open your mind.
You know what? Speaking of videos with hip mobility, I'm going to tag you, Chris, after this. It's actually a video from a high-level jiu-jitsu guy, one of the best in the world. His name is...
Okay.
No.
Oh, damn.
His name is Guillermo Mendez. And you might have heard of them, the Mendez brothers. Maybe.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard of Mendez brothers. I can't put a face to it, but yeah.
Yeah, they're one of the they're two brothers about a year apart, and they've become like the most winningest champions in jiu-jitsu, and they're just so dominant. But anyway, Guillermo, the older brother, he's known for I don't know if you know jiu-jitsu terminology, but he's known for passing the guard with a lot of pressure and being really low. But he just released a video yesterday. They have an online program just like you guys have where they're always showing videos from their classes. So it's just recording classes, teaching. And the clip is, instead of him teaching a move, he's showing some drills that he does for his low hip mobility. And he's like, it's really interesting because he's like really, really, really like super low. And he's kind of doing what you guys were saying about swaying to the left, dropping to a knee, folding onto his hip, and then coming back up, kind of without using his hands. I'm sure you've done something like that too. But when I saw it, I was like super impressed. His hip mobility and strength when he's like dropped down, like I'm my heel's on my butt and my knee is up. It's really impressive. So
I see what you're saying. Yeah, no, that sounds awesome. Yeah, it's I think hip mobility, man. I think it's something that for like general population and even for athletes, it's just something that like I think it's neglected. Like it's not even thought about. You know what I mean? Because if you think about it, very rarely like if someone really ever complain about like at least in my experience, like my hip socket like directly in my pelvis, like my hip is hurting. A lot of times it's like my lower back is killing me, and it's funny like when you start releasing a little bit of stuff in there, it's like wait, my lower back doesn't hurt anymore. You know what I mean? So I think I kind of say in my comments or in my captions for some of my posts I put up. And even like the hips don't lie there. Like I think that the pelvis is just like the key almost to the rest of the body. You know what I mean? It's basically at the core of our body.
Absolutely.
And that's why I kind of think it's like the smartest area to start off at. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's so true because a lot of the times, like where I work, people complain of like lower back.
A Target?
Yeah. I like to tell them that we're gonna move past that. I always tell them, usually most of the time it's your hips, but they can't really comprehend that. And then I have to go through a little thing where the way I explain it is I roll up their shirt and their shorts. Like I start twisting it. I tell them like kind of hunch over just a little bit. So imagine I'm doing it to you, Abe. I'm explaining to you that your hips are tight. That's why your lower back might be a little tight. So you don't believe me, you don't understand. So I tell you just to hinge a little bit. So I'll roll up your shirt and then I'll tell you to stand up. Now, it's going to be a little bit harder for you to stand up because your hips, because that part is a little tight. So I explain to them, your back is working a little extra hard just to open up. And so
interesting.
Yeah, big time, man. Yeah, you hit it on the head, bro. That's big time.
Are you a big fan of foam rolling and like band flossing and all that, like Kelly Starrett mobility wad type stuff?
Trying to floss, bro.
Yeah, so it's funny you say that. We just started a durability class over here at ONNIT. right? Which is basically like open to, you know, just everybody and anybody, you know, randomly if people drop in for a week just to come hang out at the ONNIT Academy, like they're open to take the class. Obviously people with memberships are definitely open to take the class. And I'm kind of like at the head of that.
Nice.
So durability class, you know, recovery class / recoil decompression class, like so many things, right, that you can basically kind of call it and do in that class. But I only have an hour. So my thing is like, I got 30 minutes and I'm going to dedicate that 30 minutes to, we call it kind of fascial rehydration, which I mean, basically call it SMR, call it, you know, foam rolling. But we take a little bit different approach. So I kind of adopted this from Sarah Jameson, who is the ONNIT Academy master durability coach. So she basically taught us like do the certification of, you know, taking the tennis ball and basically going through like different fascial lines. So I don't know if you guys are like familiar with like, you know, the whole theory behind, you know, like anatomy trains and, you know, the front line, the deep back line, the lateral line, the spiral line. But basically what it is, you know, we take that tennis ball and in certain areas, you know, we do kind of keep very similar to a foam roll, like the continuous tension is what I call it. So like, you know, just putting it like right on your thigh at a specific spot and just letting it just, you know, rail into it as hard as you can.
Let it marinate.
Yeah, exactly. Letting it marinate right there. So it's not necessarily that 100% of the time. It's a lot of what I would kind of term, and I believe Sarah calls this the same thing, is a press and release. So it's kind of like, okay, I'm going to push for like maybe a split second or two, and then I'm going to release and then move the ball up the line or, you know, or down the fascial line. So to kind of answer your question, do I think it's beneficial? I think it is, you know, 100%. I mean, there's days I go in there where I'm like, all right, I'm not going to lift today. Like, you know, I did some heavy, you know, hinging yesterday. There's no way that, you know, my glutes or my hamstrings are going to let me do anything today. But it's funny. I mean, I'll go in there and again, I won't, you know, rail on my hamstrings. It's kind of just like a soft press and release. Just to kind of put some, you know, some palpation back in there.
I like that.
And it feels awesome.
Nice, man. Yeah. A lot of the times when trying to make people do these things that we know is beneficial, it's just one coach asked me, he's like, or told me, just make it sexy for them. Like, don't tell them to do it just to do it, but explain the benefits of it. Like if you're lifting the accessory work that people don't like to do, they just like to do the big lifts like the squat, bench, and deadlift. When you're explaining to them like a lunge will keep your knee joints healthy and help you unilaterally, all those things, they'll be more inclined to do those movements. So,
definitely.
Yeah, you know what helps me a lot is experience. Like, just try it, experience it, and feel the results. Like, I'm like kind of addicted to doing the foam roller and the lacrosse ball, and now I'm using those the floss bands that you wrap around your joint and then, you know, move around with it. Like all that. Exactly. I'm trying to get into that, and it's because I've tried it and I felt the benefits. That's what it takes. But if I never tried it and I never took the instructor's advice, then I would have never experienced it. So a lot of times it's just a matter of like stopping what we're doing for class and just saying, hey, get down. You're going to do this today. You're going to feel the difference. And then they get into it.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%, brother. Like 110%. I mean, that's the main reason why we kind of started this class is, you know, we at the ONNIT Academy, we preach like, you know, recovery and decompression and, you know, and moving, you know, with correct form. But we didn't really have like a class or, you know, we didn't really have a class or, you know, any one of us that was kind of able to push it, you know, from a boot camp class standpoint, right? So we all have like our classes that we teach, but it's so tough to get people out of like the stigma that like, okay, I'm coming to this hour class, like I need to burn 1,000 calories, you know, I need to kill myself. Like, no, I can't spend 10 minutes foam rolling. Like, no, I don't have that time to stretch. You know what I mean? Man. But it's funny after starting this class, excuse me, we really pushed, like all the coaches at the academy have really pushed people like, hey, go take that class, go take that class. And the response has been amazing, man. Like people in there have never, you know, there's been some people in there that have said like, I've never foam rolled. I've never thought about it. You know what I mean? I didn't know that, you know, our body was actually able to like take something like this stimulus and like adapt from it, you know what I mean, and feel better from it. So now it's awesome, dude. It's funny now, like, I feel like I'm walking around and I got like all these people coming up to me now, like, hey, dude, I did this last night. Like, I feel freaking amazing. Like,
Nice.
I didn't think I was going to be able to work out today. And like, all of a sudden I feel way better. Like, oh, my hip used to hurt and my glute, was like always like such a hard time firing off. But, not to get too sciencey on you, but like a lot of the people that come in are like their front line, so I'm talking like, think about like their knee all the way up to their hip flexor is just tight.
Yeah.
Like tight. And like you could definitely see it in their posture, you know what I mean? And that's a lot of times why I kind of just like I'll scope the posture and kind of just get a general feel for what people are looking like in there. True. And then I'll just go attack that line. You know what I mean? And then after I attack that line, then we can kind of stand up and move and start to open up that line. And kind of like we talked about last time, right? It's like it's part of the equation. It's like, all right, let's get the tissues kind of in a state where they're able to be pliable, where they're able to be, plastic and able to mold into something different.
True.
And then let's go work it. You know what I mean? Let's go activate some stuff. Let's go like have some stuff to do.
Do you have any videos on ONNIT Academy for that class or on YouTube for that, like for foam rolling that I could check out or for that kind of class?
Yeah.
That he could do in bed?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, right. so it's funny you say that. So for the basketball one that I want to say it was 2 months ago. Yeah, 2 months ago, the basketball program that I put up, I showed just how to do the front line.
Okay.
And then for this last program that I just put up, it should have on there the front and the back line, which I would say, like, people to begin with, like, I think that is plenty enough.
Yeah.
Can
you,
do
Chris,
that
before you move on, can you explain like the front and back line?
And what site are you talking about? Where is that on?
Yeah, definitely. So if you go on to, the actual website, I have no clue, like the actual www deal, but if on Google or anywhere else you type in ONNIT on demand.
Oh, okay. I'm on it right now.
It'll take you like straight to our page, and then from there you can basically scope like all the options you have of the different trainers you can work with.
I'm on your page.
Obviously, you're on my page right now.
He's stalking you
right
hard,
now.
bud.
I see that shape up.
Awesome. Hell yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's there. I'm sorry. Then you asked one more thing too, right? You asked where can people find that, and then you asked something else, I believe.
I'll explain the front and back line. So.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. So like basically the front line is like a group of tissue that kind of follow. I don't want to put too. How do I state this? Yeah. Basically, think of like a group of tissue that kind of works like in unison.
Okay.
In terms of like a tissues kind of combined together and kind of think of like a railroad track. Let's think about that.
Okay.
Right. So there's like a railroad track specifically that we have all these muscles. You know what I mean? So we have like the bicep femoris. We have like our vastus lateralis. You got the IT band. We have all that stuff, right? And it's all present in our body. But what people don't really realize is like there's slings, there's meridians, there's like these tracks that basically kind of make up different lines of our body and our skeleton. So, when I ask somebody to maybe get into, like a forward bend, right? Like you said, like kind of take your hands, reach them down towards your toes. From there, like we're really asking the back line, right? Like our back line of tissue, which basically starts like at the bottom of our foot. It goes up into our Achilles and then into our calves and then into the back of our knee and then into our hamstrings. And then from the hamstrings, it basically comes down like in offset, like right on both sides of the spine and goes all the way up and basically into I want to say the back line ends on the front part of your skull. So basically, when we go down like that, it's almost kind of think of it as like a little screening deal, right? So if they like reach down, they're like, oh my lower back or my hamstrings are a little tight back there.
Yeah.
Or you can see that they're not even like getting anywhere near their toes. Then you're like, okay, like I know this back line needs to be released a little bit. So like I'll have people do that right in the beginning. So boom, they reach down. Wow, they cannot reach down. Like I'm really really tight right there. So I won't even ask like where they are tight. I'm just gonna say, okay, let's start with the back line. So let's go rub the bottom of your foot. Let's get your calf. Yeah, let's get all that crap, and then let's stand up. And I'm talking like 5 minutes it takes to do that. They stand up, and then they reach down. They're like, wow,
Makes a big
What
difference,
the
right?
heck?
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
we didn't even move. We didn't even stretch, and that's my thing. I love to move. Like, I'm a big believer. Like, we got to move in order to open things up.
Okay.
But that's like a good first step. You know what I
Dope.
mean?
That's dope, man. With the basketball training, because that's what you've been showing recently, right? Correct?
Yeah, definitely.
How does that work? So, like for like an athlete that just wants to stay in shape, stay athletic, what kind of workout would you typically give that person? Like, say Abe, for example, always wants to play basketball, wants to work out, but just wants to put everything in one shot. He has like an hour to work out.
One thing.
Yeah,
definitely. So I would say this. I mean, something that I kind of like to play with, just through exploration and kind of see like how my body responds on the court.
Okay.
Obviously everybody's different.
Yeah.
But what I would say is, I'm always a big believer in, like, especially in the beginning of your workout, like, you got to at least get about 15 to 20 minutes of just like a solid warm up. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And obviously me being the movement / mobility person, durability person, like, I'm always going to say that, like, we got to dedicate time to that.
Okay.
But and in that, during my movement prep section, like, which is, okay, so I'll do like open and closed chain mobility. And then after that, like, I'll get into my movement prep. So let's just say like that day, I know that my main first two movements are going to be some type of hinging or squatting. Okay. And then it's going to be some type of pressing or pulling.
Okay.
So let's just say we're going to be doing some hinging. Let's say we're going to be doing some squatting and then some pulling. So let's just say, some back squats, and let's say we're going to do some weighted pull-ups.
There we go. It's getting sexy now.
So yeah, right. So in my movement prep, like that movement you were talking about, right? Like the bear traveling to the side, right?
That's a new one.
So I'm definitely throwing that in there for sure, like in my movement prep section before we even get to that. One, obviously to kind of, pattern the squat. Two, you know what I mean? Start opening up the hips a little bit, the adductors and abductors and stuff. But more importantly, like I'm a big, firm believer in just like getting back to like our primate days, you know what I mean? Like getting on the ground, like getting the hands on the ground, like, you know what I mean? Kind of getting to travel and move in that demeanor. So, after I'm doing some stuff like that, maybe for my pulling, I'm going to get the scaps engaged, you know what I mean? So I'm going to find, maybe get onto a pull-up bar, right? Maybe start doing some scap elevations, depressions, or maybe, get on the ground, do some scap push-ups, you know what I mean? Just kind of get some things working back there.
Gotcha.
But yeah, after that, like I'm going to my two main things. I'm doing those two lifts, maybe 4 sets of 6, 4 sets, anywhere from like 4x4 to 4 to 8 to kind of stay like within that little strength zone.
Yeah.
And then my auxiliary stuff, man, this is where maybe I might be a little bit different, but my auxiliary, like that's where I like to have some of my fun.
Okay.
Like I understand the benefits of using conventional, the conventional barbells, to get stronger, you know what I mean, to get quicker, to develop, more rate of force development.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like when I get to my auxiliary stuff, like that's where my movement patterns start to become a little bit more important. So I'm thinking like rotation, right? Because basketball is a game of like, okay, I'm sprinting. Okay, now I got to turn and sprint down the other way. And then now I got to go into a side shuffle. And then now I got to backpedal. So it's like nothing but just continuous change of direction. Nice. So there's like a lot of hip stuff that I like to do, like unloaded. That kind of just like is, it gets your heart rate going. Yeah, you might get some muscle pump, from a little bit of pushing. Yeah. Obviously the legs are going to get some work, but like that's where, in my opinion, like the movement sophistication, if you will call it stuff, will come in like right after my barbell stuff.
I see.
And then maybe at the end, if I got like 5-10 minutes, maybe I'll pick up, if I'm doing a back squat that day and I'm doing pulling, maybe I'll, go on to the, the cables and then just like as many reps as possible, 3 sets, just put up some lightweight and just do as many rows as possible.
I get you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
kind of get into the hypertrophy deal with that. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of my thing. And that's like maybe where, again, I might be a little bit different, but I'm thinking movement sophistication. I'm thinking like multi-planar movement. You know what I mean?
I got you. Yeah, I'm just watching a whole bunch of your videos right now. Actually, me and Abel, I'm just watching your a Combine Pro Day recovery bodyweight flow. I think Joe DeFranco posted it up. So it's seeing that it's actually pretty interesting or fascinating seeing like these big ass dudes being able to stretch like that, because most of the time, majority of the time, football players are tight, man. they are tight. Their mobility is ass, right?
Yeah.
So
That's funny. Actually.
No offense, well, we all played football, like a lot of guys. So
everyone
knows it's true.
I played football probably 4 times in my life.
Soccer?
No, American football.
Oh, my bad.
American football.
My bad. FIFA.
America. That's funny. Yeah, man. Football players, man, they're getting hit like all day. The last thing they want to do is like, all right, take off your pads and let's move a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, no, man, I don't want to move.
Man,
like,
this ain't cool, man. This ain't
and
tough.
people don't understand that stuff is necessary.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, but I want to be spending as much time as I can mastering my
bro sesh.
My bro sesh.
Yeah,
my
right.
skill, you know? I'm trying to master my skill.
Definitely.
I don't want to be doing this extra stuff. I'm wasting time. I should be drilling instead of hip mobility.
Mm-hmm.
But that stuff is going to allow you to do your real stuff for longer and more
your
potent
longevity,
training.
man. Your longevity.
Yeah. Yep. Amen, man. And it's like you guys said earlier, like once they experience it, once they see what it feels like, then that's like when you can kind of catch their attention. You know what I mean? That's when you can really kind of start to make some strides, because if they see it, they'll believe it. You know what I mean? If they feel it, like they'll believe it. And then they're like all tuned into you now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Everything you say is like, all right, this guy knows what he's saying.
Yeah,
that's
the first thing. Once they buy into the system, just like teams, once they buy into the coach's philosophy, they're all in.
Yeah,
so
true.
you just gotta.
Yep.
You have to be open minded with everything. Just gotta be open minded and at least try it out one time. Like people that want to do yoga because they think it's like, for meatheads that don't want to do yoga, it's like, oh, that's boring. I'm not gonna get anything, and they're like sweating by like 5 minutes in, right? So same thing. It's just a different kind of challenge. So
true.
It is.
Man.
Big time. And they're athletes, right? They like the challenge.
Yeah,
they
exactly.
They like seeing something that they're not good at. Cause like, damn, man, like this is easy. I should be able to do this.
Yeah. Especially with the coach or instructors like doing it with ease, that should get under their skin. Especially if they're competitive.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So let's keep it with basketball, even though we're still in the off season. Who's your team? Now we're gonna get real funky with it.
Are we talking about NBA or
NBA?
Okay.
So NBA, always Lakers. I'm especially because we're 0-0 right now. Everybody's 0-0. We're for sure probably going to be like a 3 or 4 seed. I'm not sure yet though. We might even take the 1 seed. I'm not sure how they feel this year. But, I'm feeling confident. But realistically, gosh, man, you got to say I was going to say the Thunder. You got to say the Warriors, man.
Yeah, the Warriors now they're stacked, man. It's kind of like they used to be like the darlings. It's crazy how things shift. Like just a year ago, everyone loved the Warriors. Everyone was buying like Warriors jerseys, all this stuff. Now this year, Abe, he just sold his Steph Curry jersey. He's burning it. You know what I mean?
You know what's funny? A kid the other day, before the summer, because I work at a martial arts school, Chris.
Okay.
So I teach
Taekwondo.
like 3 or 4. Shut up. I don't teach Taekwondo, you bastard. But I teach like 3 kids classes a night at least. So I see like 100 kids every day. And somebody's bound to say something funny. So before the summer started, when all the kids were in, one of the kids is like, Mr. Abe. I'm like, yeah. She's like, you look like Steph Curry. I was like, what? And then she just walks away. Like kids, they always drop the mic and they walk off.
She's like, got him, bitch.
Yeah. Walk off, got him.
But she was like serious. Like she really thought I looked like Steph Curry, and I'm like, it was.
I think that's a compliment, right?
I don't. That's the thing. I don't know because she walked off.
Yeah.
So
she snickered. She snickered. She was like, "You look like Steph Curry," and then she walked away. You punk ass bitch.
Yeah, right. That's funny, man. No, I would take that as a compliment. Damn.
Shoot, I would.
Yeah, he's got a baby face. Right?
Yeah. I'll
That's
take.
Hilarious, man.
So who is your favorite Laker right now?
Let's just say that last year I called Cavs. Remember that?
Yeah,
game?
you did.
I did.
I do give you props because you did say the Cavs were gonna win.
Let's just put that out there.
You won your bet. I bought you a burger.
That's true.
So you got that off.
Okay, let's see. Gosh. Well, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, man. I just completely blanked out. I almost dropped my phone right now.
No, you're good.
You just asked a question, right?
Who is right now? Who's your favorite Laker on the
Favorite
roster?
Laker, man.
Yeah.
Who's on the Lakers?
On the roster,
That's
yeah.
the question. Who's on the Lakers?
Yes. Well, I mean, I'm super intrigued. Yeah, see, Swaggy P, man. Oh, man.
Yo, do people like him? Like who's like the city's favorite player right now?
The hometown hero?
I think right now I think just because like everyone is so new on that team, I would have to say I'm gonna assume it's got to be Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah,
You know
he's
what I mean?
the one I was thinking.
Yeah, because he's just quiet. You know what I mean? He seems like a pretty humble guy. Like working, like always working during the off season. At least from like all the social media things that I kind of follow and see.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's obviously really, really talented.
Yeah.
Still a young player, but yeah, I would have to say him, man. I mean,
okay.
Other than that, I don't really see anybody else. You know what I mean?
What has the hate gone down for D'Angelo Russell, or is it still like at an all-time high for snitching?
D'Angelo, dude. I just think I got a little part of me, like a small little part of me, man, that I feel like we should probably get rid of him. I know it's sad to say that, but I got a small part that just kind of thinks like, you know, like long term, I hope that the guy matures. I know he's still young. You know what I mean? I don't even think he's old enough to buy a beer. I think he's like 20 years old.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but like it's just shit, man. The guy is just I don't know. Even
you
during
can
the
tell.
Summer League, and that was the biggest thing. Like the Summer League, I was watching. I was like, okay, this guy should come out here and just kill everybody.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like just, you know, he started basically all last year as a rookie.
Yes.
This NBA Summer League should be a walk in the park for him.
That's true.
And there were times where he killed it. I mean, yeah, he had like a game winner. You know what I mean? I remember watching that game. Like there was games where he
that was
killed
back
it.
and forth, right? I forgot. Philly? Were they playing Philly?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Philly. Yeah. That was a great game.
That was.
I mean, I remember I lost my shit during that game. I went screaming down the street. I was like, yes.
And it's a Summer League game, too.
Pathetic. I know. I need something to cheer
That's
about.
When you know you're a fan. That's when you know you're a fan, brother.
No, but what's it called? Yeah, he just, even those games where he did pretty well, like there was still like some bonehead things that he did. You know what I mean? Just like trying to dribble through like 3 or 4 players. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, come on, man. Like that's
what are you
kind
doing,
of your ego trying to do it.
I
exactly.
Get you. Yes. So, what are your thoughts on Brandon Ingram, the rookie? I love him because I'm a Duke fan. So I'm Brandon Ingram all day.
Hey, that's funny you said that. I'm a huge Duke fan too, man.
Oh, so we became even bigger best friends.
Oh my
God. Is that what you're trying to say? Friends, there you go.
I'm telling you, Duke's awesome. I love Coach K. Like I remember when I was 12. I told my mom, I was like, yeah, well, chances are I'm probably going to end up playing college basketball at Duke. And she kind of looked at me and was like, oh, all right. And you guys remember, I'm like, right now, I'm like 5'9", you know, like 170. But before I was like 5'6", maybe like 180. I mean, I was definitely heavier than I am now.
Yeah.
So funny that my mom even put that. But Brandon Ingram is, I didn't like it at first, honestly. Okay. I did not want to pick him. But after watching the Summer League, I can kind of see his skill set now, like carrying over into the NBA. Yeah, I like him. I like him a lot. I think, and mentally, he doesn't seem, at least outwardly, you know, what he shows, he doesn't seem like a Russell.
Yeah,
like kind of just like a, you know, yeah, he's young, but he doesn't seem as immature.
Yeah, I hope not.
To say, you know what I mean?
I'm definitely.
Yeah, I hope not too. Yeah. Right? Two
Absolutely.
Peas in a pod. If that's the problem, man. If him and D'Angelo go on that route and they're just little punks, man. Lakers can be up for some crap.
Yeah, that's the problem with these early drafts. You get young kids that haven't matured yet.
Yeah,
to play in a professional game where they're getting all this shine, all this glory, where they have even less of an opportunity to mature as an adult. So it's like you're rushing. What do you think about that? Do you think people should be required to spend 4 years in college before they can go into the NBA, or even an age like you can't be drafted unless you're at least 21 or 20?
Right, I see what you're saying.
You know,
you know what? I think the age kind of has to do. Actually, no, I wouldn't even say so much age. I would think so much as how many years you kind of spend like in college.
Yeah,
because obviously like age is just a number, right? But at the same time, like I think the more experiences that you kind of go through, right? The more trials that you go through, the better person I think you're able to become. I think you're able to learn from certain things. Yeah. So I think in college, for myself, like I learned so much in my first year. You know what I mean? Then my second year was like, what? Third year was like, holy crap! Like I'm basically like almost becoming my own individual. And then senior year was just like, all right, I'm getting ready to leave.
Yeah, you know.
So
who you are.
I think the more time that they can spend there, I think is better, mentally, for them to kind of just develop it. Even understand, like, okay, if I'm to come into all this money, into all this fame, what will I do? Like, how will I respond? Like, what type of person will I be?
Yeah.
That's what I mean? Some of these guys are just basically high school kids still, man.
They're still kids, man. They're still kids. What makes it hard is we don't live the lives that those college kids live, where they're coming from straight poverty, right? Like my family wasn't well off, but we're definitely like it wasn't that hard. You know what I mean?
Poor,
like we were in dirt poor, and like what I hate about the NCAA, what makes it tough is they can't get jobs. So how are they gonna make money in that stuff?
And
their families,
even more than that, Ames, you can't get a job, right? You're playing this professional sport, and
you should be being paid for. Go ahead.
No, not even being paid for it. When you get a job as a young adult, that's when you learn a lot about how to treat people, how to handle responsibility, and those guys can't get it.
Yeah,
and they're being treated like superstars, even in college if they're doing well. Yeah. So now you got these kids with egos being inflated by other people. By the time that and they don't have to work at Target. No offense to Target workers, but you start somewhere in the job force. So you're either going to work at Target or Dunkin' Donuts as a young person, and you're going to learn a lot of shit. And you're going to get a boss that's going to treat you like garbage. Yeah. But you learn from
Hopefully
that.
not. Yeah, you become responsible. Yep. You realize like, oh, I have to be here. I can't sleep too late or whatever. Exactly. That's where it all starts. Even though you're probably going to come home at 4:00 in the morning, it's still you realize I got to wake up early.
Yeah, responsibility is huge. But
exactly.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I agree 100%, man. I think my job like that was at Chipotle.
Yeah,
that's my spot, baby.
That's a good spot.
That's a good spot to go to, man.
No, it was free food on my breaks, man. It was awesome.
Oh, that's clutch. Oh my god!
I'll tell you what though, Chipotle weighs you down like a freaking ton of bricks, man.
You get the itis real fast, man. That's I totally agree with what you said earlier ago when you're talking about like the way you eat, your lifestyle, the way you eat. I'm the same way where I'll either make myself a smoothie or like that avocado thing, that egg, same thing, or like my version of like an acai bowl without the acai. It's just strawberries and berries are the main things. I just feel way better. I don't feel sluggish. Like, and I train in the morning too, so it's just like it really transfers over to my workout.
You don't look like you trained this morning. You look a little deflated. You look a little deflated, man. Those veins aren't popping out.
I'm gonna go do some push-ups real quick. I'll be right back.
Listen, man, whether I train in the morning or not, I always do 30 push-ups before every podcast. So I got that vein sticking out of the
he's lying. He didn't do any.
I didn't do anything.
We're before this, we're looking up a new name to. Yo, help us out. It doesn't have to be today, but we're trying to think of a podcast name instead of the Ames and Abe. Something more not catchy, but something that explains what we do. Because majority of the time we're just talking about like pop culture and sports. So something along those lines.
Yeah, you're obviously a master wordsmith with those titles.
Yeah, I was thinking about the Hips Don't Lie podcast, but it's already taken. So
I got you. Yeah, let me think about that.
Yeah. Let it marinate.
Sometimes it comes to me. I'm telling you, man. Like I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I got a notebook always on my bed that I'm always writing down.
True.
So let me think about it. I'll think pop culture and sports. Something will come.
Yeah.
Some phrase will come.
So that's your homework. So the next time we podcast, you got to give us at least one name or three. After that, you got a long time.
I got you.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man.
Yeah. We can do that.
Hey, what are you looking at, man? Are you looking at my new phone that I should be getting? He's looking at the iPhone 7 right now because I told him it just came out.
iPhone 7. Oh yeah, I saw that. I actually just saw that whole little ad for that.
Yeah. It looks pretty dope. I actually might do the power switch.
You're gonna have to, man.
I know. My wife is saying it too. She's giving me a hard ass time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, but
Yeah,
yo,
that's
Chris,
funny, man.
we gotta be out for now. Yo, so great talking to you, man,
Definitely.
and catching up, brother.
For sure, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys for having me, man. It was always a pleasure.
Definitely.
Anytime you guys want me back, man, definitely next time I'm back, I got you with the 3 names.
Oh, we got
I'll
you,
pull those
man.
up easily.
Yeah, we're gonna be podcasting a lot more with you once NBA starts because you're a good person to talk to.
Oh,
So
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but-
and also kind of one thing to kind of leave you guys to. I know I was going to mention this when you kind of spoke about the whole basketball, my
Okay.
whole basketball programming.
yeah,
And trying to do that. Yeah, so that was kind of like my plan, right, to do that. But I actually kind of just received an offer from the University of Virginia.
yo,
Yeah, from the football team specifically to go be a graduate assistant strength and conditioning coach,
Nice.
and then they're gonna pay for me to go to grad school as well.
yo,
Oh,
that
congrats,
is,
man.
yo,
Yeah.
congrats, man.
Yeah,
Yo, we made
yeah,
it,
thank
homie.
you.
We made it.
Yeah,
huh?
right.
Oh no, you made it.
No, we can share it, man. We can share it for sure.
No, that's awesome, man. That's
Um,
awesome.
Yeah. So at least for the next 2 months or so,
Okay.
I'll be here at the ONNIT Academy still.
Yeah.
And then I'm assuming about sometime in January,
Wow.
I'll be out there, and then I'm assuming for at least 2 years I'll probably be a zombie, but it'll be a good zombie, man. I mean, I'm going to be learning tons. I'm going to be traveling with the team 24/7, working with them,
Dope.
and kind of all the stuff that we're talking about here with durability and the whole body weight stuff, man. Like that's the stuff that they really kind of captured their eye, and I think they want to slowly start to integrate. So that's
yo.
what I'm basically going to do that, man. So I'm
That's
excited.
man. Yo, congrats, brother.
That's pretty awesome, man. Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you very much,
Yeah,
man. I appreciate that, guys.
Hopefully we can visit you and then we can do workouts over there with the football team.
Oh, man.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Do a podcast out there. Take you guys out to the game. That'd be awesome.
Yo, word. Hell yeah, man. Yo, before we head
Yeah.
out, you want to shout out anything like your Instagram, YouTube, ONNIT, anything?
Yeah, definitely. I'm always going to shout out ONNIT, the ONNIT Academy. Like, obviously, without them, I wouldn't have anything, any of these opportunities, any offers or anything like that. So if you don't know what ONNIT or the ONNIT Academy is an amazing company. We do supplements, we do fitness, we do shirts, we do apparel, we do podcasts. We make freaking toothpaste now, man. We're starting to take over, man. Yeah, we're taking over. So if you don't know what the ONNIT is, it's just onnit.com. The website will show you everything from supplements to fitness to apparel, like I said. But yeah, man, a big shout out to all my mentors. I wouldn't be able to talk like this, if it wasn't for John Wolf, Esic. You guys know Esic, Shane Hines, and everybody else at the ONNIT Academy, man, killing it. We're just doing big things out here in Austin, Texas. So if you haven't, give us a check. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. My Instagram is Cristian. So Cristian without an H _ G _ Plascencia, which is PLASCENCIA.
Nice.
And then from there, they can kind of just see the Facebook and everything else after that.
Can you make it harder to find you on Instagram, please?
Yeah, right. Dude, I used to have the same name as like when I first got an Instagram. I'm talking like sophomore year of college.
Yeah.
And my boss, the whole name guy boss was like, hey, you know what? I think it's kind of time for you to kind of change that.
Yeah,
So I was like,
it.
all right. Yeah. So for now, my name is just whatever. I'm just going to leave it on there. But yeah, eventually I'm going to need to come up with something a little bit shorter.
Shorter, yeah. All good, man. But yeah, thank you for coming on, man. You're a pleasure to talk to. We always have a good time, and
definitely,
good luck in the future.
Thank you, fellas. I really appreciate it, man. I'll be in contact with you guys.
Definitely. Hey, take care, brother.
Alrighty, guys.
Peace.
And if you are a fan of our podcast, please give us good reviews, rate, and subscribe on iTunes.
Share
it.
Share this bad boy,
yeah, make
man.
sure
it
you
goes
download
a long
it.
way, man.
Yeah, check out the YouTube. We're on YouTube as well. Check out our newsletter. Where each month we're giving away one thing free to anybody who's subscribed. So all you have to do is subscribe to the newsletter. Also on there, we're going to be doing giveaways, prizes, contests, all that stuff. The only way you could do it is by subscribing. If you go to our Facebook page, there's a subscribe button on the side. Yeah. So please do it, guys.
Yeah, and before we go, if you guys want to us to talk about anything else on this fight breakdown or anything else, guys, feel free to make any comments or throw some questions at us out on our Instagram page or Facebook.
Or email us showtheart@gmail.com.
We want to interact with you guys.
Let's do it.
All right, man. We out.
Till next time.
Peace.